Hello students, welcome you all. Myself Vinita Kumbhar, teacher in Department of Mathematics, DES Ferguson College, Pune. In the previous session, we have learned how to find the principal solutions, the relation between the Cartesian coordinates and the polar coordinates, and few sums we tried from exercise 3.1 from the chapter trigonometric functions. Today, we solve few more sums and we try to find the proofs of some important formulae using PowerPoint presentation. See, this is the question number 2 from exercise 3.1, and that is find the polar coordinates of the point whose Cartesian coordinates are. First sub question we try. The first ordered pair is root 2 comma root 2. These are the Cartesian coordinates. So we denote the Cartesian coordinates by the small letter xy within the round bracket, and we assume the polar coordinates as round bracket r comma theta because these are the notations for the polar coordinates. Now we equate x with root 2 and y with root 2. So we got x is equal to root 2 and y is equal to root 2. Now this relation we had done in the relation between polar and the is r square is equal to x square plus y square. How this relation we got is from these two relations or equations. X is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Square both the equations, we have x square plus y square is equal to r square cos square theta and r square sin square theta. Take r square common from both the terms, then r square bracketed quantity is cos square theta plus sin square theta, and this is 1 into r square. So thus we got x square plus y square equal to r square. But no need to write all these steps in the solution. You keep in mind x square plus y square is equal to r square and substitute the values of x and y, which is root 2 square plus root 2 square, which is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, r square is equal to 4 and r is equal to 2. Actually, if you solve this, you will get plus or minus 2, but as this is the length, we have only positive value, which is r is equal to 2. Okay, now this is the first step. In the next step, we find out cos theta and sin theta. With the equations, x is equal to r cos theta and therefore cos theta is x upon r. Substitute the values, x is root 2 and r we got, which is 2. Root 2 upon 2. 2 we can split as root 2 into root 2. 1 upon root 2 and the numerator root 2 gets cancelled and we left with 1 upon root 2. Okay. Next is sin theta is equal to y upon r, or you may write y is equal to r sin theta and substitute the values. Y is equal to root 2 again and r is 2. Root 2 upon 2, again split 2 as root 2 into root 2. 1 of root 2 gets cancelled and we left with 1 upon root 2. Okay. Now we find the ratio sin theta upon cos theta, which is tan theta is equal to 1. Now you may be having the question, is it possible to find theta with only cos theta is equal to 1 upon root 2? Or with only sin theta is equal to 1 upon root 2. But remember, we are having in the quadrant all STC rule, all the trigonometric functions are having different signs. So considering only one equation to find out theta is not enough. Therefore, we consider the ratio sin and cos as tan. Therefore, tan theta is equal to 1 upon root 2 divided by 1 upon root 2, which is equal to 1. And you know, if tan theta is 1, then theta is equal to pi by 4. So this is, we got tan theta equal to 1 equal to tan pi by 4. But you will have to decide the point where that lies. Since the point lies in the first quadrant and theta is less than 2 pi greater than or equal to 0, actually you will get one more angle. See how? Tan is positive in the third quadrant also. So if I put theta is equal to pi by 4, one more angle you will get, which is pi plus pi by 4, which is 5 pi by 4, and tan 5 pi by 4 is again 1. Okay, but we discard that value. Why? Because this root 2 comma root 2 lie in the first quadrant Therefore, we have the angle as pi by 4 only. Clear? So, theta is equal to pi by 4 we write, and hence the polar coordinates of the given point we write r comma theta, which is equal to 2 comma pi by 4. Clear an idea? Now we have the second sum, that is 0 comma 1 upon 2. Method remains the same. Assume 0 comma 1 upon 2 as the Cartesian coordinates, round bracket x comma y. Then x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1 upon 2. The same thing again, r square is equal to x square plus y square. Write down this relation. Substitute the values of x and y in this equation, which is 0 square plus half square, which is 0 plus 1 upon 4, which is 1 upon 4. Now find out the value of r. R square is 1 upon 4. Therefore, r is equal to 1 upon 2. We consider only positive value. Again, the same steps we follow. Cos theta is equal to x upon r. X is 0 and y is equal to 1 upon 2. And 0 divided by half is 0. Now, sin theta is equal to y upon r. What is y? Y is 1 upon 2 and r is again 1 upon 2. So 1 upon 2 divided by 1 upon 2 is 1. Okay. Since the point lies on the positive side of y-axis, how? 0 comma 1 upon 2. X coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is half. Means that point lie on the positive side of y-axis, and the condition is theta less than 2 pi greater than or equal to 0. So what should be the angle? As cos theta is 0, we know cos 90 is 0. Therefore, theta is pi by 2. Similarly, let us check for the second condition or the second equation. Sin theta is equal to 1 and sin 90 you know is 1. Therefore, what is the angle? Theta is pi by 2. If you want another method, you may find the ratio sin theta upon cos theta. Find out tan theta. Tan theta is 1 upon 0 and 1 upon 0 is not defined. If tan theta that is not defined means the angle is 90 degrees. So anyway you are reaching to the same answer. Therefore the polar coordinates of the given point are r comma theta. R is 1 upon 2 and theta is pi by 2. So this is for the second as the solution, half comma pi by 2. Let us have one more sum, that is 1 comma minus root 3. Again assume 1 comma minus root 3 by the Cartesian coordinates x comma y. Here x is equal to 1 and y is equal to minus root 3. Okay, start with the same relation, r square is equal to x square plus y square. Substitute the values, which is 1 square plus minus root 3 square, which is 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. Therefore, r square is equal to, this r square is equal to 4 and therefore r is equal to 2. Only positive value we consider. Cos theta is x upon r you know. Put the values, x is 1, r is 2, therefore cos theta is half. Sin theta is y upon r. Y is minus root 3 and r is 2. Therefore, sin theta is minus root 3 by 2. Clear? So, here we got cos theta and sin theta. As I told you, we will have to find out tan theta because the theta must satisfy both the equations. Therefore, tan theta is minus of root 3. Now, we will have to choose the quadrant in which 1 comma minus root 3 lie. The point lies in the fourth quadrant because x is positive and y is negative. So, we have fourth quadrant. And the condition for theta is less than 2 pi greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Now, this you know, tan 2 pi minus theta is minus tan theta. Okay. This is using the rules of allied angles. This is integral multiple of pi. Therefore, tan remains tan and theta, and the quadrant is fourth quadrant. All S, T, C. Only cos and sec are positive in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, tan theta, or you can say tan of that angle, and its value is negative. Okay. So in the fourth quadrant we have tan theta negative. Now look at this. Tan theta is minus root 3. We can write this as tan 2 pi minus pi by 3. Okay. because tan pi by 3 is root 3. You know, tan 60 degrees is equal to root 3. And for negative, we are having the fourth quadrant. Clear? Now the actual difference is what? 2 pi minus pi by 3 is 3 2s are 6 pi minus pi, which is 5 pi by 3. So thus we got tan theta is equal to tan 5 pi by 3, and therefore theta is equal to 5 pi by 3. So what are the polar coordinates? R theta is equal to, R is what? R is 2 and theta is equal to 5 pi by 3. Clear? So here we completed the conversion of the Cartesian coordinates from Cartesian to the polar coordinates and polar to the Cartesian coordinates. The only thing is we have to revise all these things. Okay. Now the next important is solving the triangle. Now before solving the triangle, few notations we have to remember. Okay. Now given the triangle ABC, these vertices capital A, capital B, capital C can be considered as angle A, angle B and angle C. Means to denote the angle, the vertex is chosen. This is angle A, this is angle B, this is angle C. All capital letters for the angles. The side opposite to the vertex A or the angle A is denoted by the small letter A. The side opposite to B, capital B, is denoted by the small letter B. And the side opposite to the vertex or the angle capital C is denoted by the small letter C. So keep in mind, the angles are denoted by capital letters A, B, C, and the sides are denoted by the small letters A, B, C. So these notations are called as the usual notations. So these parts, you can say A, B, C and capital A, capital B, capital C. That is the three sides and the three angles of the triangle are called as parts of the triangle or elements of the triangle. Okay. So with this notation, we have some important relations. Those are the standard relations between elements of the triangle, of which the first is sine rule. Now this sine rule statement is in any triangle ABC, A upon sine A is equal to B upon sine B is equal to C upon sine C is equal to 2R, where this R is the circumradius of triangle ABC. Now the meaning of circumradius is, given the triangle, the circle passing through all the vertices of the triangle is called the circumcircle and its radius is called as the circumradius. So here for the triangle ABC, we have the circumcircle and its radius is capital R. Okay. Now in the proof, we'll have to draw the figure. The proof is very, very important, may be asked as a theory question in the board exam. Okay, so we'll have to do that. And this is the concept of the circumcircle that passes through all the vertices of the triangle. Okay. Now in the triangle ABC, we draw AD perpendicular to BC. Then we got two right angle triangles ABD and ACD. Now in the second right angle triangle, find out sine C. As I told you, this is angle C. Okay, sine C is opposite side upon hypotenuse, that is AD. This is AD and hypotenuse, that is AC. Okay, but AC is what? AC is nothing but small letter b, the length. So this AC we replace by b and cross multiply with sine C and we will get AD is equal to b sine C. Clear? It's very, very easy. Now we find area of triangle ABC. You know area of the triangle is half base into height. In this triangle, we consider BC as the base and AD as the height. Substitute here. BC is nothing but A. So we replace BC by A. Okay, and go to the line above. AD is equal to B sin C we got. So here in place of AD we put B sin C. Okay, therefore area of triangle ABC is equal to half AB sin C. Clear? Similarly, we can find the areas by considering AC as the base and AB as the base. Now with this equation, if I cross multiply 2 with LHS, we have this equation. 2 times area of triangle ABC is equal to AB sin C. Okay. Now similarly with the another base AC and AB, we got these two equations. What are those? 2 times area of triangle ABC is equal to AC sin B, and 2 times area of triangle ABC is equal to BC sin A. But remember these equations, LHS, this equation and this equation and the third one, LHS is same, therefore we can write RHS also same or equal. Therefore BC sin A is equal to AC sin B is equal to AB sin C. Now to this equation we divide by ABC. So let us divide. BC sin A upon ABC is equal to AC sin B upon ABC is equal to AB sin C upon ABC. Cancel the common terms. Look at the first term. This BC and BC gets cancelled and we left with sin A upon A in the first term. Look at the second one. Here AC gets cancelled with A and C. We left with B. So the second term is sin B upon B. The third is AB and AB gets cancelled and we left with sin C upon C. Okay, thus we have sin A upon A is equal to sin B upon B is equal to sin C upon C. Okay, now by invertendo, you know, for the equal ratios, we can take its reciprocal. So A upon sin A is equal to B upon sin B is equal to C upon sin C we got. Now to prove that this each of the ratio is equal to 2R, because that is the statement of the sine rule na. A upon sin A is equal to B upon sin B is equal to C upon sin C is equal to 2R. Therefore each of the ratio we equate with 2R. Clear? Now you know this, as the sum of the three angles is 180 degrees, this you know. At least one of the angle of the triangle is not right angle. This is obvious. Now amongst ABC, we assume that A is not right angle. Okay, so this is very important assumption. Now see, this A we are considering as not the right angle. Now this is the construction you will have to do. Draw diameter through A. Let it meet the circle in P. See here, concentrate figure. Capital A and this is capital P. Through A we draw the diameter and that meets the circle at point P. Therefore AP is equal to 2R because the radius of the circumcircle is capital R and AP is the diameter. Therefore AP is equal to 2R. Similarly, we consider the geometry of the figure for this statement. Triangle ACP is right angle triangle. Look at triangle ACP. Now if you consider angle ACP, this is the inscribed angle by the diameter. Okay, or you can say the angle inscribed in the semicircle is always the right angle. Therefore angle C is of 90 degrees. Now look at these two angles, angle ABC and angle APC. These are inscribed in the same arc AC. What are those? Angle ABC and angle APC are inscribed in the same arc, and in 10th standard you have the theorem of inscribed angle theorem, and those are always the congruent angles. Therefore their measures are equal. Therefore, measure angle ABC is equal to measure angle APC. But by notation, angle ABC we denote by capital B and angle APC we denote by capital P, and we take the sine ratio of these equations. B is equal to P we got na, this is B equal to P. Take the sine ratio, you will get sine B is equal to sine P. Now see how to get these terms. Now as I told you, this triangle ACP is right angle triangle. This is angle P. Find out sine P. See what is sine P? Sine P is opposite side upon hypotenuse. Are you getting? This figure is very important. With the assumptions right angle triangle ACP, we have sine B is equal to sine P, which is equal to B upon AP. Opposite side, this is B upon hypotenuse, that is AP. Okay, but what is AP? AP is equal to 2R. Therefore, we write sine B is equal to B upon 2R, and which is same as sine P. So, we have sine B is equal to B upon 2R. The next step is we cross multiply the terms because we need B upon sine B, right? Therefore, this term I cross multiply, or this term we cross multiply with RHS, and we have B upon sine B is equal to 2R. We call this as equation 2. Okay. Now from equation 1 and 2 we get, what is equation 1? A upon sine A is equal to B upon sine B is equal to C upon sine C. And one of the ratio B upon sine B we got 2R from equation 2. Therefore, we collect these two equations together and we write A upon sine A is equal to B upon sine B is equal to C upon sine C is equal to 2R. See, this is very important result, or the rule you can say, which is called as the sine rule. Okay, so the ratio of the sides of the triangle are in proportion with the sine of their angles, sine ratio of their angles. So this is called as the sine rule. Okay, now you have to remember the different forms of the sine rule that enables while trying the sums. So these will have to remember. This already we proved in the standard form, which is A upon sine A is equal to B upon sine B is equal to C upon sine C is equal to 2R. Okay, remember what to keep in mind. For the sides we will have to write the small letters. For the angles we will have to write down the capital letters. And what is this 2R? This 2R is a constant. Why? Because R is the radius of the circumcircle that will be given to you. So we consider this as 2R. But if you consider the different circles, you are having the different radii. But this R is the circumradius of the circumcircle. Okay. Now the second form you have to remember is, see how. Now if I consider A upon sine A is equal to 2R. Instead of these two, we concentrate on A upon sine A is equal to 2R and cross multiply this sine A with RHS. Then you will get A is equal to 2R sine A. Similarly, consider B upon sine B is equal to 2R and cross multiply sine B with RHS. Therefore, you will get B is equal to 2R sine B, right? And the third one, C upon sine C is equal to 2R. Cross multiply sine C with RHS. Therefore, small letter c is equal to 2R sine C. So, this is the second form you have to remember, and as I told you, is useful while trying the sums. Now, the next. Now, we consider the reciprocal, or we take invertendo. So, that is sine A upon A is equal to sine B upon B is equal to sine C upon C. And as I told you, this is the constant, and the reciprocal of a constant is again a constant. So, while trying the sums, you may replace k by 1 upon 2r or keep the constant k as it is. Clear? Now, the fourth one. See, the fourth one is what? B sin A is equal to A sin B, C sin B is equal to B sin C, and C sin A is equal to A sin C. See how? Consider this ratio, and in that ratio concentrate on these two terms with equality sign. You will have to concentrate on these two terms and cross multiply. What you will get? See, this is A sin B is equal to B sin A. Similarly, we consider these two, C sin B and B sin C. Consider these two terms in the equation. Cross multiply. So this is B into sin C is equal to C into sin B. Clear? And the third one, C sin A is equal to A sin C. Look at the first term and the third term with equality sign. A multiplied by sin C, that is A sin C, is equal to C multiplied by sin A. We cross multiply. Is equal to what? C sin A. So this is the fourth important formula to remember for the sine rule. Okay. So the last one is A upon B is equal to sin A upon sin B. See how to find. Again the same thing. Or you may consider this one. How to find? This B we cross multiply. This B we write in the denominator. That becomes A upon B. Okay. And this sin B we write to LHS becomes or comes in the denominator. Thus A upon B is equal to sin A upon sin B. Similarly, we can write B upon C is equal to sin B upon sin C. How to find that? Now consider this. How will you write? This C we write to RHS. So this is the product between C and sin B. So this product C becomes or C comes in the denominator. So we have B upon C is equal to, this is sin B, product is there between B and sin C. So this sin C we write to LHS and that becomes sin B upon sin C. Clear? So here also you can write how? C sin A is equal to A sin C. So you can write C upon A is equal to sin C upon sin A. See, without changing the meaning of this rule, you can use any of the form according to the given sum. Okay, so these five forms are very important that we'll have to keep in mind, and the important is the proof of the sine rule also. We are having the problems on this in the exercise. Okay, so for that purpose, we need to remember all these forms. Clear? I hope you have understood the proof of sine rule. We'll have to memorize the proof because the proof may be asked as a theory question in the board exam. So remember sine rule with the different forms. Thank you.